I want to go over a couple of more trimming techniques that can improve your efficiency during the refining process. All right, so I've got my timeline here, and I'm going to zoom in around this first edit, ++. And we already know that the default trim mode when you select an edge is the traditional trim tool, which allows you to trim a shot back and it leaves a gap in its wake. Now, a lot of editors really find that this shouldn't be the default trim mode. Rather, the default mode should be that if you're hovered on either side of the edit, that it should be a ripple edit, and that if you're right in the middle of the edit, it should turn into a roll edit. Now, you can switch this behavior really easily in Premiere Pro. So let me undo that edit, Command-Z, and I'm just going to come up to Premiere Pro, Preferences, and again, this is in the Edit menu on a PC, and I'm going to go to Trim. And then I just come over here and check this box, Allow Selection Tool to choose Roll and Ripple trims without modifier key. And I'll say OK. And now when I click on either side, it's a ripple trim, and when I click right in the middle, it's a roll. Now if I want to get my traditional trim tool back, all I have to do is press the Command key, and I've got it. And that's a Control key on a PC. I'll undo that, Command-Z, and let's actually perform this trim. Again, I need to take some frames away from this, so I'm going to play.
And excited. I love press.
All right, so I'm just going to grab this edge, bring it back, and let's play.
Excited.
Press doesn't.
Same thing over here. I'll add some frames, and let's play.
Letterpress doesn't.
All right, so without any modifier keys and without switching to the ripple tool over here, I've performed my trim. Now there's a couple more things too. I want to go over a couple of really useful trimming keyboard shortcuts that can really increase your speed and efficiency. A really quick way to get into trim mode is to just park kind of nearby an edit point and then press T. Notice that it also opens my trim monitor window and I'm all set to trim. If you don't get the edit you want, which we did in this case, but if you don't, you can press the up and down arrow key to go back and forth between your edits. Now it defaults to a roll, but I can actually toggle through all of my available trim tools by pressing Control-T on a Mac or Shift-T on a PC, and watch what happens. I'm just going to toggle Control-T, Control-T, keep going. So here's a roll, here's an A-side ripple, a B-side ripple, an A-side traditional trim, a B-side traditional trim, and back to a roll. Now I've already got this trim looking good, so I'm going to go on to the next one, the down arrow. And I know that I need to remove some frames from the beginning of Felicia's shot, so I can click on her monitor here, and now I have a ripple trim. And we know that from the last movie, I can press Option left arrow to trim to the left, Option right arrow to trim to the right 1 frame at a time, and then again to activate your 5 frames to the left and 5 frames to the right, I'll press Shift Option left arrow, 5 frames, and then Shift Option right arrow to go 5 frames to the right. So I think just a couple more frames here for this edit after all that demoing. And let's play.
It doesn't look like anything else. It's amazing.
Letterpress just has.
All right, so I've got it there, but I did just want to mention that if you want to change that number 5 to something else, so instead of trimming to the left or the right 5 frames, you wanted it to be 8 or 10, you come up to Premiere Pro, Preferences, Trim, and then it's right here, Large Trim Offset, 5 frames. You would just need to change that number if you wanted it to be larger or smaller. Now finally, just one more thing. I want to show you how to perform an extend edit. All right, so I'm going to go down to my next edit, down arrow, and I'm just going to click on my timeline to take away my trim monitor window. And I'm just going to play this to see what's happening at this edit.
Any other way, and I love.
All right, so we need to take a few frames off the tail of Felicia's shot. And what I'm going to do is actually just park my playhead where I want the shot to end. All right, so I'll just scrub through here.
Other way.
About right there. All right, so you park your playhead, and then you set up the type of trim that you want to have happen. So I could do a roll, or I could do, in this case, I want a ripple. And then all I need to do now is press E to perform an extend edit. And the trim automatically occurs. So really nice way to use your playhead. Let's play this and make sure I've got it.
Any other way. I love that.
All right, perfect. So this is a really quick way to eye up a trim without having to click and drag your mouse or using the trim buttons or JKL to get the job done. Just one press of the E performs the immediate trim. All right, so that's it for now. Try your best to practice with these trimming techniques as much as possible. It'll make you faster and better throughout the entire refinement process.